Hey YouTube, it's OG Kicks 86. That's Kicks with the Z, back with another sneaker review. As always, just want to do a quick disclaimer. My videos are not about hype. They are more just to help somebody make a buying decision one way or another. So, and just kind of piggybacking on that, that is why this is a great time to be into shoes in general. People are saying sneakers are dead. They're not. They're dead to people that didn't really like them to begin with. So I think everybody of my age or a little bit older will agree that if you're into sneakers, you're into it, and I think you're a lifer, unfortunately, man. So for good or for bad. But anyways, let's get into it. So the reason I say all that is because this was a shoe that was very, very highly coveted. 3 or 4 years ago, and then now the prices are getting to a point where you can pick them up and they're more attainable. So let's go ahead and read the label here. You have the Air Jordan 1 Retro High OG Special Projects. So yes, this is the Air Jordan 1 Maniere. Go ahead and pull this out of the box. So put this down here. So these released back in December of 2021. So Maniere always does a good job with the packaging. So Maniere on this side, have the Jumpman right there with the Maniere logo. So I just love what Maniere does. For me, it's like a grown man Jordan. So I know like I said, the hype's been dying down on them, but to me, I think that they're not necessarily going towards the kids. You know, they're more of a older person or more tailored taste. So anyways, let's go ahead and get into these. So these shoes here, they are made of, I would probably have to say, this cracked leather. I was trying to think about how I was going to say it, because it kind of feels like suede, kind of like, but it also has like this cracking all through it. But it is just a beautiful shoe. You can see it here going through the swoosh as well. So I'll go ahead and do a quick turn on these. These I actually picked up from Goat for $183, size 9.5, and I checked on StockX right before the video, and they were going for $166. I mean, I saw the prices when these released, and they were just ridiculous. You know, that was back during when everybody was into the Jordan 1 train and all that. So I'm glad I waited. I really am glad I waited. But this is obviously a shoe that I kept my eye on, and periodically I'll check in and see where it's at, and finally got to a point where I was like, that is more than fair. It's below retail. So I went ahead and pulled the trigger on it. So these come with actually wax laces on here. They also come with the second set of laces. Let's go ahead and pull these out. There are these cream laces or sail laces. You can see the eyelets as well have a little bit of metal tips on there. These do as well. I think they say Maniere on one of them. Let me see if it says anything else on the other one. So, but no, they just always knock it out of the ballpark with the quality on these. They say the same thing. Then you have the quilted inside, which is great. I think this one has a message here as well, and his signature of Michael Jordan says, "Learning's a gift, even when pain is your teacher." Michael Jordan. So just a great shoe, like I said, on the quality. Wax laces here. And then you also have the maroon, I call it a maroon color, or the Maniere maroon color at the bottom. But just a beautiful shoe overall. I just really like it. Like I said, a few years ago, I would have not even thought about buying these because of the cost. Nothing in here. You have the Maniere stitched on there as well as on the other side. So, but just a beautiful shoe. Let me pull out the insole as well so you guys can check it out. Even on the insole, you know, they always do the stitching all the way through, and then on the back part as well. So yeah, these were awesome. Comfort, they are just like any other standard Air Jordan 1. I went my true to size 9.5. Sometimes you have to get used to a little bit with the with this plush inside. You can see all the texture in there because it does feel a little bit different on foot. And then you have the maroon back here as well throughout the shoe. You have your hang tag on your left shoe here. You have the Air Jordan on one side and then the Maniere logo on the other. But both shoes are pretty much exactly the same. Besides that, and again, these are a shoe that I definitely think that I can dress up, semi, a little bit. So, or can just rock casually as well. So, but my final thoughts on these are, if you were thinking about pulling the trigger on these, I would tell you to get them now, especially if you can find them below retail on a trusted site like Goat or eBay. Right now is the time to do it. So, especially if you held off on buying them before, like I did, it's just, I get a number in my head and then I kind of stick to that number, and I'm not going to pay, over a certain amount, which this isn't a shoe that I would have paid resale for either way, because it's still a Air Jordan 1. And honestly, I hadn't seen it in hand and I didn't know how nice it really was. I mean, obviously now I kind of understand that Alma Maniere is all about quality, because I also got the 6 and then the 3 as well and the 12. So they all kind of have the great quality. But when these first came out, I knew nothing about Alma Maniere. I'll be honest. I mean, I just didn't, so but as they grew on me, I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna pull the trigger once it gets to a decent price. So right now is the time to do it. But let me know what you think about these. How do you feel about Jordan 1s in general right now? Because again, I would say the hype beasts are moving away from it, but what do actual shoe connoisseurs that really love this shoe, what are your thoughts on it right now? Does that affect you at all? Does that affect what you put on feet? I'm just really curious for my end. I know that I'm the type of guy that I will put on whatever I feel like wearing that day. So that's just me. So it could be a 1, it could be a 12, it could be an Air Max 90, it could be a New Balance. It just kind of depends. So hell, I'm in Texas, so it could be cowboy boots. So just like I said, it just goes on how I feel. So let me know what your thoughts are on that, and then how you feel about Alma Maniere and specifically this shoe here on the comments below. But that's it for me for today. OG Kicks 86. That's Kicks with the Z, and I'll see you on the next sneaker review.